You know, there's something about the Fastlane pay-per-view that just every year doesn't necessarily hype me for WrestleMania. It more or less deflates any expectations or excitement that I previously had. Fastlane, a pay-per-view that has become synonymous with disappointment. This is the pay-per-view that is supposed to get you hyped up, that is supposed to get you excited for WrestleMania, the biggest, most grandiose show of the entire year for WWE. This pay-per-view every year does exactly the opposite. Exactly the opposite. Fastlane. What a deflated, awful, misguided, terrible pay-per-view this was last night. Oh boy. Where do we even begin? Can we... I'm having trouble even starting. So how about we talk about the good, the one good match of the entire evening. What we're going to talk about, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Cruiserweight match. That's right, everybody, the Cruiserweight match was the highlight of the night. The division that since the Cruiserweight Classic, which was awesome, by the way, and mad props to every single guy in that division. It's not their fault that it's deflated right now. The Cruiserweight match was a hard-hitting, brutal brawl, and it was amazing. Props to Jack Gallagher and Neville for just bringing every ounce of potential that the Cruiserweight division has to be out last night on display. That was absolutely awesome. Brutal, hard-hitting, you could just feel the emotion in every single hit. Neville is an amazing champion and has done amazing things for this division, and Jack Gallagher proves that you cannot judge a dandy book by its cover, because boy howdy did he bring the fucking thunder last night in that match. It was perfectly paced. Everything just filled you with excitement. I loved it. I loved seeing something that got me excited the way the Cruiserweight Classic did. This is the first time since the Cruiserweight Classic that I have been legitimately, pumped for a Cruiserweight match. And now, with the prospect that Austin Aries and Neville are going to be going at it at WrestleMania for the Cruiserweight Championship, I cannot wait. Fantastic match. Props to both gentlemen. Thank you for saving this show. I'm not going to dig into Goldberg and Owens just yet because I got a lot to say about that. As a matter of fact, it's going to last a whole lot longer than the match itself. So how about we dig right in and we go to, how about we talk about the Tag Team Championships match. This was a match that I was really hoping was going to go the way for Gallows and Anderson, because these guys over the past couple weeks have been treated with mad disrespect. I mean, the fact that both of them got jobbed out to Roman Reigns, and then Luke Gallows had to take a hit to Big Cass, and that's no disrespect to Big Cass, but man, it sucks when you have a team that's as prestigious as Gallows and Anderson and you just see them being treated like crap even when they have the tag team championships. This was an okay match. I don't even really want to say it was anything great, but there were minimal botches by Enzo, which is good. I love Enzo, I do, but he's a better mouthpiece than he is a wrestler. I think any real fan knows that. It was good to see Gallows and Anderson walk away with the heel dirty finish. I liked it. The way Gallows just shoved Enzo's foot off the rope. Fantastic. I love it when heels do that because it gets you riled up. It's like, no, his foot was on the rope. You're supposed to be upset by heels. Heels are supposed to do things that upset you. That's what I love about the Revival, but that's neither here nor there. So, good match. Glad that Gallows and Anderson walked away with the win, and I hope they keep walking away with the titles all the way until WrestleMania, where they most likely are going to lose them, but that's okay because they will at least be given a decent run. Maybe not as decent as the New Day, of course, but decent nonetheless. So we'll go ahead. This is going to be a little sporadic, guys. It's not going to be totally in order of the matches, but I'm going to, talk about the ones that kind of were worth talking about. Nia Jax and Sasha, there's not much that can be said. I mean, the finish was a little unexpected. I honestly expected Nia to walk away from this one as the winner, but I guess Sasha needed it too, I guess, but I really have no thoughts on that match. I really didn't care. I couldn't be brought to care. Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe had a good outing. I mean, it's always nice to see that Sami is still allowed to kind of bring the thunder against somebody like Joe, who Joe is currently being billed as a absolute badass, as he should be. Samoa Joe is a bad, bad man, and he is an amazing wrestler. And honestly, had Goldberg not squashed Brock the way he did, I would have loved to have seen a Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar match. That would have just been a fucking just nice, good brawl, like slobber knocker of a match. But we can't have that, so we can't have it anymore. But I really enjoyed it. Sami Zayn brought a whole lot of fight. It was just a good, well-paced match. And I think that Samoa Joe is going to be destined for big things after Mania. So I wouldn't expect anything big for him just yet, guys. I really wouldn't expect anything huge for him right now. Expect that after Mania. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about. We already got the cruiserweight match out of the way because that's an amazing. That was an amazing match. How about we talk about Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns? Now, first of all, Roman, what were those? What were those, man? Roman came out there with some knockoff Yeezys, man. I don't know, dude. This guy, like Roman, I couldn't take my eyes off this dude's shoes the entire time. I was like, what the fuck is Roman wearing? Did he leave his boots at the airport or something? It was hilarious. I couldn't get it out of my head. Like, this dude, I couldn't stop focusing on them doofy-ass shoes. Because here this man is, full-blown SWAT gear, and he's got on these fake J's or something, dude. I don't know. Okay. Roman was like, well, shit, all I got are my gym shoes, so I guess that's what I'm going to wear. Somebody done stole my fucking boots. Okay, so how about we talk? I mean, this match definitely had both guys looking strong. Roman obviously looking stronger, but I don't see the point in him winning this match. I was actually, all the rumors and everything we were expecting was counting on The Undertaker coming out and costing him the match. Like, he goes for the pin on Strowman after his spear, the lights go dark, and next thing you know, you hear the boom, you hear Undertaker's bells ring, and, you know, Roman gets up, he's like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And then Strowman scoops him up, power slams him, wins. Undertaker inadvertently costs Roman the match, thus building up heat for their inevitable encounter at WrestleMania. This did not do that. Strowman looked incredible. I'm just going to say it out here. Braun Strowman's outstanding, right? As of right now, he is out fucking standing for a big man. Like, I am one to say, big men, like, they are just as necessary as cruiserweight and middleweight guys are. They are very much necessary in the world of pro wrestling. However, you have to be more than just, like, you have to do more than spears and choke slams and power hits. You got to be able to do shit that still wows the crowd. And that's what Braun Strowman's been doing. This guy has really, really stepped up. Now, I will admit there were some moments where he was looking really winded, and I don't know how well the guy's, like, overall endurance is, but honestly, like, he really, really did well, and he has been doing incredibly well over the past year. He has really improved. Like, you want to talk about I wish that Roman had the level of improvement that Braun has brought. Like, Roman, like, again, you can set your fucking watch by how a Roman Reigns match is going to go. Now, I was happy to see that Braun ate 2 spears instead of 1, and, you know, it took the second spear to bring him down. But at the end of the day, I just don't see what this was doing for either man. Like, this was doing nothing for either man with Roman winning. Granted, again, they both look strong, but it would have made more sense to have Undertaker inadvertently cost Roman the match, because right now, there doesn't appear to be any plans for Braun. There's plans for Roman, unless, of course, maybe it's not Roman that the Undertaker is going up against, but Braun? I don't know. Overall, it was a pretty decent match. Just I don't want to say that every match where Roman wins is shitty, but yeah, it's kind of shitty. I try not to be a smark with Roman. Oh, who the fuck am I kidding? I'm always a smark with Roman. I can't fucking stand this guy. Like, no, we're not gonna get in there. Alright, so let's talk about Charlotte and Bayley. Now, what a weird match this was. I mean, not bad, not great, but nothing that you're not going to see on Monday Night Raw. Charlotte is known for winning titles at pay-per-views. She's known for winning at pay-per-views just in general. So, to have her lose at Fastlane versus Mania, just really, like, this whole thing with her and Bayley, this could have had so much momentum going into WrestleMania. This could have had so much going for it into WrestleMania, but they haven't done that. They put the belt on Bayley and on Raw. Then they have her go over Charlotte at Fastlane. Granted, it was caused by interference due to Sasha Banks, which again was weird. This was a heel-type move, and Bayley was aware that Sasha was there, and she still just capitalized on it. And I'm like, is Bayley like an inadvertent heel now, or what is this? It's just been a mess. This entire thing was a mess from start to finish, and it's going to continue being a mess all the way until WrestleMania. I just see that happening. Expect a Sasha Banks heel turn tonight. I'm telling you, expect it. If not tonight, then it's definitely going to be next week. They have got to get this going before WrestleMania. They have a month. They now officially have a month to prepare for WrestleMania and get all this shit on Raw sorted out. And I don't see them doing that. Again, an outstanding effort by both ladies. Don't get me wrong. It was fine. They both put their all on the line, but it just wasn't anything that you wouldn't see on Raw. This was Sunday Night Raw. That's all this pay-per-view was. And again, the finish is just so weird because, Charlotte had Dana go to the back. She answered Bayley's challenge and said, yo, get to the back, Dana. And Dana's, the Meg Griffin of WWE anyway. So I was like, okay, cool. Dana's not going to interfere. But to have Sasha interfere and then Bayley just be like, oh, okay, hey, cool, belly to belly. And then, boom, she beats Charlotte at a pay-per-view. I hope that question gets answered tonight. I do. I hope it gets answered tonight. Oh, and now, unless there is something... How about we talk about the time waster? Jinder Mahal and Cesaro and Rusev and Big Show. Jinder is a walking, talking wellness violation. Like, he is a wellness policy violation. If this motherfucker ain't on steroids, then I don't know, man. That guy is unnatural. Like, his body looks like the body of someone who does a lot of steroids. Like, that dude has gotten huge in a little bit of time. And, you only get that way from one way. But again, it was kind of cool seeing them let Jinder kind of, bring out his A game, which isn't really saying much. And Cesaro is just fantastic no matter what, and it's going to get to a point that I'm going to make later on in this video. And then Rusev and the Big Show. I cannot wait for Big Show to be gone. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of Mark Henry. These guys are relics of the past. They're guys that I grew up with. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, man, I don't understand the point of... I can see Jinder jobbing to Cesaro. But to have Rusev job... It's such a weird thing with Rusev, because Rusev is a talented guy. He's an insanely talented guy. I don't see what this did for anyone. This entire segment was nothing more than a time waster. That's all it was. This was hey, our main event is going to be all of 2 minutes. So we need to go ahead and fill this 3-hour time slot as much as we can. It was all crap, and honestly, if they really wanted to get a rise out of the crowd, what they could have done was they could have had Kurt Angle come out and wrestle both guys, and then that would have been better than whatever the hell this display was. But again, mad props to Cesaro. The dude's just awesome. And Jinder, dude, you're... count on seeing Jinder Mahal suspended for 30 days following wellness policy violation. Trust me, that is definitely coming. Because if you don't think that guy's on steroids, then you're smoking crack. Anyway, shall we move on to this? Oh. Man, smart levels are rising. Alright. Goldberg versus Kevin Owens for the Universal title. Now, we all knew. We all knew what was happening. We all knew Dad Berg was going to walk away with the Universal title. Deep down inside, we were like, maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe Goldberg is gonna, maybe Brock's gonna come out and interfere and cost Goldberg the match and beat him up, and then the match just never happens. And no, that never happened. Brock never came. Kevin Owens, he just kind of, does the little heel thing, walks around the ring, doesn't really get in, buys some time, gets the crowd all riled up, just generally doing Kevin Owens heel stuff. Gets back in the ring, cue Chris Jericho's music. We kind of knew this was coming. Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. Dad Berg is new WWE Universal Champion. In 21 seconds. Bill Goldberg has wrestled less than 2 minutes in the WWE and is now your Universal Champion. Let me tell you all the problems. Let me talk to you. Let me tell you why I have a problem with that. So let's start by saying this. I am 29 years old. I'm 29. I'm a grown man. Now, I grew up with Bill Goldberg. I grew up with Goldberg matches. I grew up with WCW. I know how a Bill Goldberg match goes. I know what to expect. I know what's going to happen. But that doesn't mean it should. That doesn't mean it should. Now, I want to just say this. I respect Goldberg for all that he's done in the wrestling business and what he's achieved. I understand what he is, what he's supposed to be. But what I don't like, and this is something that I have been firmly against for a very long time, and that is part-timers holding the belt. I do not like the idea of the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship, and in its day, the World Heavyweight Championship being a title that is ever off screen for any extended period of time. This hurt the main card. This hurt top-tier wrestlers when Brock had it and didn't defend it or have it on television for extended periods of time. This, to me, part-timers holding the belt and not working every single night and not doing, it gets in my crawl so bad because I think about all the people that deserve that opportunity. Now, I know with being a major champion, I know with being the main champion, that comes with an extended set of responsibilities. It's a lot like being a manager at a job. It comes with an extended set of responsibilities that you have to abide by. And maybe there are some guys that don't want to be champion. Maybe they just don't want to be at that level. But to have that title on a part-timer, to me, is incredibly disrespectful to everybody who works that roster full-time. That's like a part-timer getting paid more than full-timers at your job. Think about how that would make you feel. You bust your ass day in, day out, day in, day out, and this guy that shows up once a week and does the same thing that you do makes the same amount of money, if not more than you. Think about how much that would piss you off. Now apply that to the WWE Championship. Apply that to the Universal Championship. And then you see the problem. The Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match did not need a belt involved. That was going to sell no matter what. So for it to have a belt involved does not increase the prestige of the already ailing Universal title, which has been wounded since the moment it was even introduced. It creates this atmosphere that it is now this fucking unattainable championship because it is around the waist of Goldberg. And if Brock Lesnar, the guy who has dusted everyone on the fucking roster at this point, gets squashed by Goldberg, then what fucking hope does anybody else have? That's the illusion. I mean, if Brock wins the championship at Mania, it's just going to be more of the same. It is not going to add any form of prestige to that title, and the guys who are in the top card they're not going to have anything to fight for because Brock's never going to be on TV. Brock is on TV a grand total of maybe like 2 hours a year. I don't see the point of doing this. I don't see the point of doing this. And to have Kevin Owens, who is supposed to be put into this unstoppable heel faction with Triple H and Samoa Joe, to have him get squashed in 21 seconds makes utterly no sense to me. I don't understand what Raw's creative process is. Like, it's like monkeys on a fucking typewriter. I do not understand their way of thinking. I do not hate Goldberg. I do not hate Brock. I hate titles being put on part-timers. That is what I hate. That is what I hate because I think of all the lost opportunities. All the lost opportunities for matches that do need a belt. In some circumstances, a belt is needed to further advance the storyline and the character of certain wrestlers. But when you put it on Brock and you put it on Goldberg, there's just that takes that element completely away. And the Universal title is not going to look any more prestigious around the waist of Brock or Goldberg. That is just not going to happen. And with a potential draft coming in immediately after WrestleMania, what are the people supposed to even want to go to fucking Raw for? Nothing. There's nothing there. What, the United States Championship, which has no fucking prestige anymore? An ailing tag team division? What are they even supposed to go there for? Nothing. There's nothing there if they put the belt on a part-timer on two unbeatable fucking monsters. That's the problem. That's the problem with this whole thing. This thing looks great in the short term for WrestleMania, but when you think about the next year, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Now, I have a way to save this, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. So, how do we save this? How do we salvage this sinking ship? I'll tell you exactly how we save it. Here's what we do. Okay, so, cut to WrestleMania 33, the main event. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg. It's a little bit longer, say maybe 3 minutes this time. Brock puts forth an incredible effort, but ultimately Goldberg still wins the match. Goldberg has his moment, hoists his son up into the air at WrestleMania. Hurrah! Goldberg's the big superhero. And he's going to have a brilliant, marvelous homecoming the next day on Raw. Now, cut to the next day on Raw. The Monday after Mania. Always an exciting show. Goldberg opens the show. He's given a hero's welcome. The crowd chanting his name. He walks out. Championship still around his waist. Enters the ring. Looks around at the crowd, still chanting his name, giving him the hero's welcome. He has truly slain the beast. Now, Goldberg looks at the crowd, and he says to everybody, thank you all. Thank you all for what you've given me this last year. It has been an incredible ride. But at the end of the day, everything good comes to an end. He takes the belt off of his waist. He says, I had one more jackhammer left in me. I had one more badass spear left in me. And I had one more championship run in me. And now, nobody's next. He lays the belt out in the middle of the ring. Goldberg vacates the title and rides off into the sunset. The new GM of Monday Night Raw, Kurt Angle, I see. Kurt Angle comes out to announce that there is going to be a battle royale for the Universal Championship upon the next WWE draft, which is going to take place either after WrestleMania or a couple weeks after WrestleMania. And then we truly have a good start to the next year, all depending on who is going to Raw. That's the way I would do it, guys. So, there are my thoughts on Fastlane. What a disappointment of a pay-per-view. Thank you all for trudging through this video with me. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, won't you? And if you didn't, go ahead and thumbs down and you'll never see my face again. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe to us here on Turbo Arcade for more wrestling videos, and we'll see you next time.